Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. We start in Winnipeg, where a Métis music legend has passed away. The death of Ray St Germain was announced by his wife Glory on Facebook Tuesday. The 83-year-old was dealing with the effects of Parkinson's disease for the last several years of his life. But as Sav Jones reports, it didn't stop him from singing with his soul.
It's now or never, come hold me tight, kiss me my darling, please be mine tonight.
Earlier this June, Métis legend and music icon Ray St Germain unexpectedly sang an Elvis Presley song in what is now his last public performance. It was announced on Tuesday that the 83-year-old had died. But less than 3 weeks ago, St Germain's legacy was honored with the renaming of his childhood street.
So many friends, so many relatives. Thank you so much for everything.
He said with his wife Glory at his side. At a press conference earlier today, Glory shared her cherished memories of their 50 years together.
And Ray sang to me every day, and we danced every day, and music was his life. And I'm so honored that, that his music will continue to inspire people to sing, to praise their heritage, and to move forward with love and compassion.
The news of his passing comes after years of St Germain dealing with the effects of Parkinson's disease. But for decades prior, St Germain rocked out on stage singing country songs and entertaining the masses with his long-standing television and radio career. Shows like Big Sky Country and Métis Hour ×2. Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand was a close friend.
Our nation is in mourning. There's not a question about it. We lost our legend. We lost our hero.
St Germain was recognized by the Aboriginal Order of Canada in 1985 and inducted into the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame in 2010 for his contribution to Canadian music and Indigenous culture. St Germain was proud of his culture, writing the iconic song, "I'm Mighty Proud to be Métis."
That's in the 1970s. That song was sang by him, written by him. Think about history in this room. Go back. Not many people were proud to be Métis then.
Glory says she was surprised when the ailing St Germain decided to sing at his street naming ceremony.
And it was his last hurrah to say, I love you, I love everyone, and thank you for sharing the music. And, music feeds the soul.
St Germain was known as Winnipeg's Elvis for his soulful voice, and just like the King of Rock, his legacy will live on forever.
Tomorrow it will be too late. It's now or never. My love won't wait.
Sav Jones, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
With your lips.
Certainly a big loss. We'll hear more from Ray later in the show. Ontario's Police Watchdog says it is investigating after a 57-year-old man was shot and killed by an Ontario Provincial Police officer in Kenora on Tuesday. The Ontario Special Investigations Unit says preliminary information suggests the OPP located a man with knives at Anishinaabe Park around 12:40 p.m. The SIU also say the man set fire to a building and that firefighters responded to extinguish the blaze. One officer shot the 57-year-old man who was taken to hospital where he was pronounced deceased. 3 investigators and 2 forensic investigators have been assigned to the case. A post-mortem is scheduled for Saturday. The SIU says 1 subject official and 7 witness officials have been designated at this time. The Police Watchdog is asking anyone who may have information, including video or photos, to contact them. Over the weekend, a family from the Island Lake area in northern Manitoba hosted a long-awaited memorial for a relative who died of tuberculosis in 1948. Billy Harper spent a lifetime searching for his mother, who passed away when she was just 4 years old. His daughter Sharon found her burial site in Brandon. APTN Sierra Bettens tells us how.
At his mother's final resting place, Billy Harper strummed a Hank Williams song to awaken her spirit. Then, it began to pour.
That's the first time I said Mum. And I talked to her, lying in her bed in her grave. I know she's listening to me. Hey Mom, I'm here.
With family and community at his side, Harper held a memorial for his mother Fanny, who died of tuberculosis in 1948. He was only 4 years old when she passed at 27. Harper, who turns 80 this year, spent a lifetime searching for his mother's grave. But in February, his daughter, Sharon Little, connected with the Manitoba Indigenous Tuberculosis History Project, which helps families locate missing loved ones.
We were talking about it one night. He was mentioning our dad's getting old and he hasn't found his mom yet after years of searching.
Within a week, they found Fanny's burial site at the Brandon Municipal Cemetery. Before her passing, she was likely sent to the Brandon Indian Sanatorium to be treated for tuberculosis.
The response was really quick, about a week, and they got all the information of my grandmother. And that's how it started. And I told my dad, he was pretty in shock when I told him on the phone, because after years of searching.
So, on Saturday, the family traveled by plane from their homes up north in the Island Lake area to hold a long-awaited memorial.
I've been searching all my life. Now I'm happy I found her.
In the early 20th century, First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples were disproportionately affected by tuberculosis. Health officials crafted the myth of Indian TB, suggesting that Indigenous peoples were racially susceptible to the virus. The federal government opened sanatoriums they called Indian hospitals to house Indigenous patients. These hospitals were usually underfunded and understaffed, leading to poor living conditions and care. When patients died, families were rarely told. Project lead Mary Jane Logan McCallum and research director Catherine Boschman worked with the Manitoba Indigenous Tuberculosis History Project. Since 2019, the project has helped dozens of families locate the final resting places of loved ones who died in Indian hospitals. But, as the researchers attest, tracking down missing patients is no simple task.
There are religious repositories, funeral homes, and it is a really overwhelming process to begin and to even know where to start, because each avenue is a little bit different, and so the process is not like an easy, straightforward path. And that's part of the reason why the project produced the Missing Patients Research Guide.
The Missing Patients Research Guide is free online. It is designed to help families begin their search. Though the research team has expanded over the years, Logan McCallum believes the onus should be on the government to help Indigenous families access public records.
There is no public, government right now that is taking responsibility for assisting families through this process, and there is a huge demand, as we've found, and not just us, but probably every Indigenous organization has been approached with similar questions.
At the memorial in Brandon, green grass grows over a row of unmarked graves. Graves the researchers believe could be for other patients like Fanny Harper. As Billy places flowers where his mother lays buried, he hopes other families searching for their lost loved ones can do the same.
I know there are a lot of people are searching for like what we're doing, A lot of them, even garden centuries was, in our area there, even way back home. And they search the same way as I do. And I'm hoping that the government will provide funds in the future. I heard her say, I'll meet you someday.
Sierra Bettens, APTN National News, Brandon.
What a story. You can find more on that over on our website, aptnnews.ca. A mine in the Yukon has halted operations. Details coming up after the break. Welcome back. Two First Nations in Quebec are celebrating a Superior Court decision in that province. It calls on Quebec to put in place a consultation process with them over caribou. The woodland caribou are in decline, and Quebec was proceeding with a strategy to deal with it, but without the participation of two Innu nations in the northern part of the province. They took part in a legal action in February 2022, which ended with Wednesday's decision saying the province failed in its constitutional duty to consult with them on that caribou strategy. It goes on to say the Quebec government must have a consultation process in place by September 30th. A mine in the Yukon has stopped operations after the owners say there was a system failure Monday morning. Victoria Gold's Eagle Gold Mine is located in central Yukon. The company says its heap leach pad experienced a failure. A heap leach pad is a system that uses chemicals to help extract gold. Operations at the mine are temporarily suspended. The company says there has been some damage and contamination, though it's not yet clear to what extent. No injuries have been reported. The First Nation of Nacho Nyack Dun is located in the village of Mayo, 85 kilometers from the site. It said in a statement it's deeply concerned about reports of a landslide at the site, as well as environmental impacts. Follow up now to a story we brought you last month concerning Dall sheep in Yukon's Kluane region. The territorial government will close Dall sheep hunting in a select game management zone in the Kluane region from August 1st, 2024 to October 31st of 2026. The Kluane First Nation previously told APTN News it was calling on the Yukon government to close certain hunting zones so low numbers of Dall sheep could recover. The government says the decision follows recent surveys which show concerning population declines. The closure will target the Donjak Sheep Management Unit, which showed a 63% decline since 2015.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy that, finally we're seeing a partnership, I guess, if you want to call it that, when we request that, this area is in critical condition, and we expect that, what territorial government would take this seriously, right?
Time for one last quick break, but stick around. There's more to come. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. And it's summer in Winnipeg. Some days it feels like it anyways, and that means the Red River X was recently in town. Shania Murdoch was on top of the Ferris wheel and snapped this view of the fairgrounds. Thanks for thinking of us, Shania. Be sure to send your photos to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at Thursday's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, 23 and showers for Fredericton and Charlottetown. 15 in Kuujjuaq, 9 in Nain. 21 with rain in Montreal, cloudy and 18 for Val-d'Or. 19 under sunny skies in Sault Ste. Marie, 20 in North Bay. 20 in Thunder Bay, 22 for Sioux Lookout. 21 with showers in God's Lake and Norway House. 24 in Winnipeg, rain, and 22 for Dauphin. Showers and 20 in Regina, 19 with rain in Saskatoon. 23 in Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge. In northern Alberta, sun's out and 25 for high level, 20 and sunny in Fort Chip. 15 with showers for Edmonton, 24 and rain in Lethbridge. Rain and 17 for Vancouver, showers and 22 in Kamloops. 18 with rain in Prince George, showers and 20 in Smithers. 26 in Old Crow, rain, and 25 in Whitehorse. A sunny high of 23 in Yellowknife, 26 under the sun in Norman Wells. 13 in Saxe Harbor, 22 for Pawlatuck. 10 in Chesterfield, 14 in Baker Lake. 4 in Resolute, 6 in Joe Haven. Well, as we've been reporting, for National Indigenous Peoples Day, Canada Post issued its third annual series of stamps honoring important Indigenous figures. The stamp featuring Inuk singer Elisapie was unveiled at Montreal's McCord Museum on June 14th. Kishite Alexandra Vie-Chizo was on hand for the celebration.
Go! Vous pouvez tirer. Allez-y. On tire, on tire, on tire.
A sizable crowd was on hand to congratulate multidisciplinary Inuk artist Elisapie on the stamp bearing her likeness. The Inuk singer is from Saluit Nunavik, the second northernmost community in Quebec.
I'm just paying tribute to all the little Queen Elisapies in the north and the little kings in the north.
She says she's humbled and happy to receive this honor with her family by her side.
I think this is really for them.
This stamp is part of a series by Canada Post celebrating significant Indigenous figures who have left their mark on the country.
Yeah, it's a stamp. This is my face in there.
Georgina Riel, Indigenous Counselor for Canada Post, says the stamps are a positive step in bringing Indigenous peoples and the government closer together.
That's a big opportunity of relationship building at Canada Post regarding First Peoples. We need to make sure that our relationships are done with great respect, with reciprocity, and above all with generosity and partnership. That's key on reconciliation.
I find it really, really, really special. So I will take it and I will say thank you, Post Canada, for doing your part in slowly changing the narrative and putting us out there and certainly be celebrating us.
Some political figures were there to celebrate Elisapie's success.
Permettez-moi de vous féliciter au nom de l'ensemble de la ville de Montréal et au nom de notre mairesse Valérie Plante.
They included Nathan Obed, president of Inuit Tapirit Kanatami, or ITK, the organization representing 70,000 Inuit across Canada.
She's been an incredible ambassador for Inuit, not only here in Canada, but all over the world. And we thought it very appropriate that we celebrate her really in her prime as a musician and also just as an incredible Inuk.
It was ITK themselves who selected the artists and activists to appear on this year's stamp.
Well, there's so many people who look up to Elisapie, who also listen to her music and are so proud that Inuktitut is spoken and celebrated in the art world and in music. Her connection to community and her connection to family, and that really resonates with us as well.
For Elisapie, receiving this honor from ITK is a momentous occasion.
I'm just so happy that ITK was, really able to, and we're able to have that poetry and beauty and the way they see things, not just political things, but also really believing in artists like me. So I think it says a lot. So nakormik ITK for this huge honor.
However, Elisapie sees this stamp first and foremost as an honor for her own community and for Inuit communities across the Nunangat.
Même si j'ai envie de juste dire humblement, j'aspire pas d'être dans un thème dans la vie. Je veux faire des albums, je veux faire la création, mais ça, j'ai l'impression, c'est pour le collectif, c'est pour leur vision des Inuits ou des Autochtones en général. Alors, je suis vraiment heureuse.
She hopes the stamp will inspire Indigenous people across Canada to stand out from the crowd and build a life that fills them with pride.
I think this is going to travel to people's hearts in the north, but mainly to the kids, so they can be reminded that they are queens and kings. Nakormek, merci.
Kijate Alexandra Veillet-Chizo, APTN National News, Montreal.
Awesome stuff. For more on all three of the stamps, you can head over to our website, aptnnews.ca, or our APTN News YouTube page. Well, the Stanley Cup Finals officially wrapped up Monday, and though the Cup didn't come back to Canada, there's still a silver lining. APTN's intern, Zach Bowser, has more.
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup!
Just over a year removed from heartbreak in last year's Stanley Cup Finals, Florida Panthers defenseman Brandon Montour has fulfilled his and most other Canadian kids' dream, hoisting the Stanley Cup. In April of 2021, the Mohawk defenseman from Six Nations, Ontario, was traded to the Panthers from the Buffalo Sabres for only a third-round pick. Back in 2022, Montour won the inaugural APTN Brian Trottier Most Valuable Indigenous Player Award, which recognizes on-ice excellence and off-ice contributions to the Indigenous community. And in the 2022-2023 season, Montour made himself known all around the league, thanks to a breakout season where he put up 16 goals and 73 points in 80 regular season games. Today, the Indigenous athlete joins the likes of NHL greats Grant Fuhr, Theo Fleury, and Brian Trottier by winning hockey's greatest achievement, but not without a message for his fans in Six Nations.
Be ready for it to come home.
Zach Bowser, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Pretty awesome stuff. Well, that is all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Wednesday. For much more, you can head over to our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy McGuitch, thanks for being with us. I will see you back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for your first look at the day's news. We want to leave you tonight with some of Ray St Germain's performance from Indigenous Day Live here in Winnipeg in 2011. Again, Ray St Germain gone at the age of 83.
So, here it is, because I'm a traveling man and I don't give a damn. I'm a traveling man, I've been traveling most of my life. I got a good woman, don't you know that she's a good wife? And there's no rhyme or reason why I ought to be sitting here today. Well, let me explain it all to you, don't you know this is just my way. Yes, I'm a traveling man and I don't give a damn if you don't like the way that I live. I'm a traveling man and love is just a plan and I take a lot more than I give. You gotta understand I'm not an ordinary man, I'm my own special food. I'm a traveling man, the things that I plan you ain't never gonna learn in school.